Hi James, this is Tony. I'm doing a little critique on your white balance and your ISO. See, you've got a Nikon D5000. That's great. Okay, so you've got your ISO set at 1000. That's a good place to be when you're shooting something like this. And then it's telling me that your shutter speed's 125th of a second. That's perfect for what you're doing right here. So your white balance, based on the look of his t-shirt right here, looks pretty good. You're probably under maybe some tungsten lighting, and you minimize the kind of orangey look that it might have had. Now you're outside. You got your ISO still at 1000. That's okay. And it's maybe just a little overexposed, but not bad. But this is for what you have right here. This works out just fine. Okay, now this particular shot looks like you shot. Okay, it does say that you used the flash. Okay, so when you're doing the white balancing kind of thing, when you're using flash, let's see what the next one might look like. When you're using flash, if it looks like you've used the flash and then maybe you were doing a little white balancing too, because it makes their skin look a little blue. So you might have done the white balancing along with the flash, and that you might have done it corrected for tungsten. But since the flash went off, it gives you this little bluish effect too. Your aperture is also at f16, so you might want to, because we'll definitely spend some time with the aperture. You get your ISO 200, so if you're inside, make sure you're shooting it up higher, like around 1000 like you were before. Open up that aperture, not 16, but maybe open it, as f4, f2.8, whatever it can go to. And don't use the flash. Pretty much the same thing here. Don't use the flash. Looks like you're doing the color correction because she's looking a little blue, but don't use the flash. Now on this one, this is much more of like the kind of thing that I'm hoping that you do. Got ISO of 1000. Shutter speed at 125th of a second. Didn't use the flash, and everything looks good here. That's a pretty funny shot. Okay, you're outside now. Your aperture's f16. It's a little bit different because you're outside. You got a lot more light to work with. Okay, and that looks and that finishes that. Now, okay, so for your shots that are indoors with the tungsten lighting, that looks good. But the ones, be careful, looks like when you were shooting with the flash, you used the same sort of tungsten color correction, but and ended up using the flash. So the flash does not need any kind of color correction. It's pretty much daylight balanced, although every once in a while you'll sometimes see on some of the cameras a little lightning bolt for white balancing for flash, but it's so close to daylight that most cameras don't even bother. But anyway, so watch out for that. But in terms of being able to shoot indoors at your higher ISOs, that worked out great. 1000, or you could do 1600 or even 3200. So good job. Thanks very much.